Welcome to Together Unprocessed, where 5 friends from across the world share real conversations about food, healing, and life. Let's get started. Good morning. How's everybody?
Good.
You're looking all great, fantastic, lots of smiles. Olivia will be tuning in here shortly. This is our part 2 of toxic living, and before we get started, just a reminder to our viewers, we'll go around the room and say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Let us know where you are, and your choice. You want to talk about the weather, you can. If you don't, that's fine. And time zone. So I will start this time with Ashley.
I'm Ashley. I'm from Tasmania, Australia, and it is 11:15 in the evening. So yeah, like one, but yeah, that's me.
Wow. 1:15 or 11:15.
Yep.
I love it. Go ahead, Hugo.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit past 2, and yeah, just waiting for the sunset, I guess.
You're waiting for the sunset?
Yeah, afterwards.
like maybe 8-9 hours from now, or in an hour, or
No, the sun is gonna set in 3 hours.
seriously?
Yeah.
So that's like 5 p.m. your time.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, we usually set here like, I don't know, 6:30 now. It used to be like 4-ish. That's awesome. Cindy?
I'm Cindy. I'm in Michigan, right along the Ohio line. It's 7-something in the morning. So good morning. This is Owlie here. You can only see her tail. It is about 30 degrees Fahrenheit this morning, and the sun is coming up. I have a beautiful horizon, a beautiful orange showing up over there. Wish I could get some in my eyes, but I'm looking forward to a sunny day.
Which we have in our Instagram that you get to see. There's quite a few pictures up there of your sunrise there, Cindy, and sunsets as well.
I love it. Yeah, I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
I have the sunrise over here and then my sunset over the pond over here. Much around.
You're gonna get
And-
competition, Cindy.
What's that?
You're gonna get competition.
I am?
Yeah.
I love it. I like to try and catch it too. It's so good. It's so amazing for the circadian rhythm as well. So what I learned, and we know a lot about it as well. So it's just sometimes you just get that view that is, it almost takes your breath away. And one of my favorite sayings is that there's not a single artist out there that is as captivating as Mother Nature. That's what I feel. Just so beautiful.
I agree.
Hi, Olivia.
Hi everyone. Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm in the UK, and I'm happy to report that there is a blue sky in our midst today after, I don't know, probably 2 weeks of not seeing much sun, and before that even many weeks of not seeing it before that. So we're very excited. It's a Saturday and the sun is shining.
And you're inside.
Yeah.
Inside.
Going for a nice long walk this afternoon, so hopefully we'll catch lots of it.
Well, we certainly appreciate you giving up that and coming in and talking with us for sure, of course. You know, when I lived in Masset, BC, and I could probably relate to a certain point is that I think, like, sometimes we'd sit there and say, oh, catch the sun. This is the one day out of the year you're going to get it. Because it was raining all the time, constantly raining. And it's one of those things, you either get out there in the rain and enjoy being outside, or you don't go outside. It was crazy.
Yep. That's pretty much the choice here.
Yeah. There we go. Well, you do a lot too, though, Olivia. You go out, you run, you do all kinds of stuff. You do your what's that called? With your son and Greg, where you have to catch that football. What's that called? Rugby.
Oh, rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
I
called
don't do
the
the rugby. I watch the rugby.
Yeah. Yeah, you do a lot. Just a quick question: is anyone watching the Olympics by any chance?
I watched last night because we got a gold medal
In what?
in the one where they go down the really fast.
And you catch a football?
Okay, they're on
That
their
thing.
front. They're on like a sled on their front, and they're going through
Luge.
the it's like
Luge.
a bobsled. Luge. That's it.
Yeah, it's called luge. Yeah, that's awesome. It's hilarious.
And I didn't even know there was such a thing as a half pipe. Like I was watching that yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, this is quite an interesting sport."
I know, and
With their snowboarding.
I'm surprised
it's crazy
you
what
won
they
that
do,
because
Like,
yeah, you don't have snow in UK, right?
No.
I was in Scotland in December and no snow. I don't know. Like maybe on the
If there
mountaintops,
was a sport that specialised in rain, we would be the best at that sport.
there you go. Well, you know what we used to do? We used to take plastic and we'd put it on one of our big heels. And because it's rain, we'd slide down on the plastic because it was raining all the time. It was a blast. It was just like winter, but it was done in the summer. So
Slip and slide. You can buy those.
What's that, Cindy?
You can buy those, slip and slide, they call it, you know?
Well, there you go. Well, back then we couldn't. We didn't even have Amazon, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. And we lived.
but if you slip, it's gonna be quite dirty, you know. Like if it's muddy and
Oh, we had a blast.
yeah.
Absolute blast. It is fun. You should try sometime. You know, us adults like me at 63, I'm gonna go sliding down a piece of plastic.
I want
the
to see
rain.
that in a
Probably
video.
not now. That's excellent. So I'm in Ontario, Canada, and it's -1 degrees. We got a little bit of snow, and again, I'm at 7:21, the same as Cindy. We're in the Eastern time zone, so that's pretty cool. Well, good morning. So I'll do quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick recap of part 1, where we covered, well, not even really a recap. We covered EMFs, household toxins. We covered the toxins that are in buildings, especially where you work. And we talked about vehicles, and people don't realize how actually toxic a vehicle can be. And even when you get one, like a Tesla, we even talked about a Tesla because we talked about the EMFs and stuff. So we'll have a link below, and you can go catch part 1. And we're going to start part 2. Today we're going to cover what goes on in your body, what's in your food, and what your body does naturally to protect you. Also, just to put out there, this is not a fear-mongering podcast. It's just about awareness. And as Cindy likes to quote John Barnes, she always says, without awareness, there is no choice. So that's all this is about, is bringing you making you aware of these toxins, so you can do whatever you can within your life that you're able to maybe minimize them, because we will never, ever in our entire lives be completely devoid of toxins. But we can certainly do things to help us mitigate. Mitigate? Is that a good word? Mitigate? How it affects us. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go around the room, and each of us will just take a topic that we feel very comfortable with, and we'll just all chime in and do what we do. So, Ashley, for personal care products, I'm going to pass the baton on to you.
Well, this is something that's sort of having teenagers is quite close to my heart, because obviously them going through all their hormones and things, they do tend to get a lot more acne and things like that. And the skin is the largest organ and is the one that everything that you put on is absorbed through the skin. We're so conscious about what we put in our mouth, but then we tend to forget about the things that we do put on our skin. And I noticed that a lot, especially when we had 2020 and all those things that we had to do, and the hand sanitizers that were going around, and we became very conscious about disinfecting everything with the bugs, and you know, a lot of people didn't realize the damage that they were doing and the amount, you know, the burns and things that they were getting just from using hand sanitizers. So I just think it's very important to actually check the ingredients that are in all of the products that you're using. You know, there's lots of, you know, in deodorants, you're getting aluminum or aluminium as we call it. You're getting a lot of, you know, the parabens and, you know, the synthetic fragrances as well, because everybody wants to smell nice, and then you walk in and you just get inundated with all these fragrances that are all going to affect, all, you know, every part of your body, from, you know, from your lymphatic and your endocrine, all these different things that are happening. So I became quite conscious of this, especially with a 12-year-old daughter who wants to smell like all her friends. And I know that, and some of these fragrances that you get are so sickly sweet, and they're not helping with things like acne and all of that. So we've switched a lot of the products that we have in our house from, you know, deodorants we've gone away from the sprays and gone to the natural roll-ons. We've gone with the girls with cleaning our skins and makeup removers as well. We've gone to my favorite topic, my water machine, because it produces those different types of water. We're able to incorporate those. Been able to get rid of a lot of those toxic chemicals, and replace it just by cleaning our water, you know, cleaning with water, and then finishing off with tallow, which I make, and I think Olivia makes hers as well, and just using those and a few essential oils in that, to use the, you know, the very carefully selected ones, because some of the essential oils aren't good for your skin. You know, you can go out and you can burn like your oranges and all that. So I'm very selective in what I use, but all those things have really helped with their body and their skin. As well as, you know, the shampoos and all these things. It's just about being aware of all of them and changing them out. So Olivia might be able to go, and actually they're doing it in book club, a little bit more deeper into all the different toxins and things in there. But yeah, it is something that is close to my heart, and especially with the girls, to try and manage it, because yeah, it's nothing worse than going around and being worried about your skin, being a teenager and having to deal with all these hormones. So if there are natural ways to do it, we always try to do that.
Yeah.
Hand over to Olivia.
Yeah, before you jump in there, Olivia, for just a personal quick story is my whole life I've never used sunscreen, never. And probably about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago, I had my boat, and of course I was out on the water, and you tend to absorb much more, like a lot more sunlight. And I decided that I'll just try it just in case I don't want to get a sunburn or whatever. I put it on my body and I got terrible burns, terrible. And I've never used it since. And I've never been burnt like that in my whole entire life. And I'm going on 63, so I've never used any of the sunscreen or anything ever again. And I won't.
Yeah, and
You know,
you have the water reflecting the UV light too. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
So it makes it more intense. The UV light reflects off the water too. You know,
Yeah.
It can be 2x the UV index, I guess.
Yeah.
When you're just near water. But also, I think they put vitamin A, usually in those, or was it vitamin E?
I think it's E.
It was either.
I think it's vitamin E.
Maybe vitamin E, and I think that contributes to to that reactivity. So it's creates oxidative products from that, to my knowledge.
And lots of people, well, I shouldn't say lots of people, but people that I know have an aversion to vitamin E supplement in lotions and stuff. Like I know friends that if it has vitamin E in, they'll actually start breaking out really bad. And that's just like facial or whatever. So
Maybe it's
The
not
Australian sun, it's really, really difficult. So we do use a more natural one as well, but it's always best we just stay out of the sun in certain times of the day, and we just make sure that we cover up, because that's the main thing. Just, you know, hats and we wear a lot of long sleeves, but we just be careful all the time because the sun is quite harsh here. But yeah, I've stopped. You know, I've had skin cancer. And so everybody freaks out, but I don't use suntan lotion. It's one of the things that I think has actually contributed towards it.
yeah. Okay.
Can I interject, I would, you
Of
know,
course.
I took a deep dive into sunburns and why that happens. Because you know, I experienced something profound when I was in Tunisia. I was out most of the day in the sun, uh, and I did get a lot of sun exposure. But of course, I was wearing a shirt, right? My hands, which are used to getting sun, didn't burn. But when I went swimming 2 times in peak time, which is, I think it was basically 12 p.m., 11 a.m., uh, after the first exposure, there wasn't anything bad about that. Like, I was an hour and a half in the water, an hour, basically near the beach, but it seemed okay. But the second day, when I did that again, I did get a burn, and I think it's maybe the salt water plus the the intense UV exposure, and I think that I haven't gotten sun on my back. That burned the most, the back and the neck, and even though my hands were exposed too, they were completely fine. Arms, actually, they were fine. Not really, like they were a bit sensitive, but not problematic. So yeah, I think it's. I looked into it, and it seems like it's exposure driven. So if you're not used to getting the sun on certain parts of your body, then you are more sensitive to getting sunburns too, because the melanocytes are not producing enough melanin to protect you from the sun. So,
Right.
in that case, when you're getting a sunburn, even if you're eliminating seed oils, I think those were a massive contributor to my prior sunburns. Because my brother, who isn't on a clean diet as me, my older brother, he did get a nasty sunburn the first time, and it was much worse than what I had the second time too. I could even carry my heavy bag,
Oh, geez.
even though it was painful. But at least I could do that. He was just knocked out and couldn't carry anything, and yeah, I had to have cream on that and just gentle treatment. But I didn't have that, so I think seed oils play a massive part in that. But it's also how much sun exposure you've had on
Yeah.
those parts of your skin. I think that makes a massive difference.
I believe that, and I often wonder too. I don't know. This is something that we can look into as well. Is when we do, like, our face and our hands usually get the most exposure to sun. So, and I think Dr. Chafee talked a little bit about this as well. Is the more skin you can expose for vitamin D absorption, the better. And I mean, us females in the summertime, I mean, I'm not going to run around with a bikini on my body. I'm just not. I'm not comfortable with it. Whereas you guys, you just take off your shirt, and you're able to cover a majority of well, that's half your torso, that's half your body being exposed, right? And I think that plays a role too. Just like you said, exposure, what parts or whatever. Because if you were to expose maybe your butt, whereas your back is exposed all the time, I'm sure you'd have a pretty nasty burn too. And people learn this when they go into those damn sunlights or sun lamps as well.
Yeah.
They get massive burns in certain areas, and anyways,
Kim,
I don't.
is the
I don't
reason
like
that
those.
is the reason you don't run around in a bikini, Kim, is because you're plunging without any bikini?
well, it's because other people can
Right.
see me. Plunging, they don't get to see me.
Just go out
like,
on
no.
the deck on the part that doesn't have the awning,
I mean, really, we could go down in that little rabbit hole and I could explain it all to you, but I don't think our viewers want to hear it.
I have a
So,
question,
no.
Hugo, since you've done a deep dive in some stuff, is there any sun lamp, like tanning type bed or whatever, that would have all of the things that you need that could be helpful for those who don't have access to natural sunlight? Parts of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I did look at that, but from what I gather is that most of these products are probably detrimental. Maybe too intense, too localized. It's not uniformly distributed as, sun would be. Plus, it doesn't carry the same spectrum of light,
But
so it
that's
will
what I
have a
was
different
wondering.
effect.
Is there any
Yeah.
that are made that do have it? Because I know there are some that are also adding red, red light to
Maybe there
it.
are some specialist, but devices, but they're probably very expensive. Uh, but I know infrared, like that's a certain part of the spectrum that you already get from sunlight.
Hmm.
There's dedicated devices for that, and it seems to work pretty well. Like
I mean,
infrared
if you're getting a
sonars.
tan, then your body is going through that reaction, some form of reaction, to be able to increase the melanin. So
Yeah, I
what's
think
going
in
on
that
there,
case it's
right? Like,
probably the UV spectrum, right? UVA and UVB.
That's what I was going
I,
to
th-
say,
I think that's the
which
main
incorporates it
contributor.
all.
Yeah, yeah. But even if you get that, it's not like you would. I think you would need to reproduce the entire spectrum of sunlight to actually get the same benefits, which is it's difficult. Plus, even if you reproduce that, uh, it will cause a lot of it will have a lot of like radiation as well because you're using a lot of electricity for that. It takes a lot of energy to reproduce sunlight. Uh, so you might get some kind of effect from that too, uh, like a downside. So I'm not sure. I'm not a fan of tanning beds, personally, because I did look at those and it looks to be more harmful uh, than sunlight. Sunlight is actually beneficial if you do it properly. I mean, if you're getting burned, that's not ideal. I would um, suggest against that because you know sun is beneficial, but if you're getting burns, that's not good for your skin. So maybe cover up is better, or maybe some natural uh, lotions or creams that we talked about to protect you from that. So that's the difficult part when you're in such a climate where you can't get sun. It's kind of hard to solve that. Um, but it's kind of maybe we don't need that exposure necessarily if we're um, like if your ancestry is from the northern climate, like of course you would have adaptations for that too. So I think that plays a big role where your ancestry is too. So if you like, let's say you used to live in a tropical, subtropical climate, and then you went to a northern climate like Canada, right? Or northern Europe. That's gonna be way different, right? And maybe your ancestry isn't like maybe you don't have the adaptations, the genetics to be completely healthy without sunlight or with minimal sunlight that we get in winter. So in that case, I think it's more important. So you have to kind of know where you come from.
There are lamps. There's plenty of lamps out there. It's just knowing what, you have to know the safeties behind them too. Like, are they UV free? You got your EMFs. There's so much more, but there are simulations of lamps out there. I mean, you've got the lamp for I think it's called the SAD. So when you have seasonal depression, they have those lamps that you can get which simulate sunlight. And I actually have 3 of them in my house. The lamp in my bedroom, actually, when I'm in my bedroom and turn on my little lamp for reading or whatever, that's one of them. So there are lamps out there. It's just a matter of knowing which one is a better one to have. I think the ones I have was recommended through, I think it was Ben Greenfield at the time. But they do simulate sunlight, and millions and millions and millions of people use them just for SAD, which is seasonal I don't know,
affective disorder.
depression.
It's
Thank you.
seasonal affective disorder, and yes,
That's it.
they really can help. You do have to have them very close to your face, and you need to have
You do.
like a good 20 minutes a day, but it can definitely help. So
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the wavelength, and then I don't know. I think the use of tanning beds is if you're using the right light, it can help someone. Like, I'm thinking of people who live in areas like this where most of the year you don't have that protection, and then you're going to go to Florida for a week in the winter, right? You want to get the most out of that. You can prepare yourself ahead of time by getting tan. I mean, we used to do it
Oh, yeah.
back in the day. Like in the 80s, it was a thing, right? 80s and 90s, it was more of a thing. But I would think with those lamps that we have for SAD, the seasonal affective disorder, that I mean, I know people who've actually been told to use them, but I haven't looked into it deeply. So
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it for vitamin D, it looks like you need UVB, right? But
You
it's
need
like
UV. You can't get away from
yeah,
UV for tanning.
290 to 350 nanometers. So
Yeah.
that's like, if the lamp does actually output that, and doesn't out, I don't know if UVA is useful. The thing is, there is research that says it's harmful, but in what context, right?
right.
Maybe
And they
too
also
much of
say
it
the
is
sun is
harmful.
harmful.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So I think it depends. I think UVB in this case is of course safer. Like we know at least it's required for vitamin D, but UVA I'm not sure about entirely. So I think it is part of essential health. I just don't know how it is essential. And yeah.
Over to Olivia now, so we don't get stuck in this topic, which we just have. Is that Olivia? I think you're going to talk a little bit about tallow. I think you recommended too a Yucca. Is it a Yucca app or whatever for food and all that kind of stuff? Um, you use a lot of tallow, just like Ashley does, and you make your own soap, do you not? Don't you make your own shampoo and stuff?
No, I make my own tallow. I do want to start making my own soap, so I've just been looking into that. But I use a natural soap that I buy at the moment. But yeah, make our own tallow. I used to buy it, and it turned out to be too expensive. So I've been making it for a good couple of years now, and yeah, everyone uses it in the house. Everyone loves it. Like the teen kids I have are desperate for it all the time. I used to be really fussy with making tallow. I used to always get like organic beef suet, but that's really hard to get in the UK, and it's actually really expensive. You have to get it from a certain supplier. So it was turning out to be quite a process getting organic beef suet, because beef suet is the least odor kind of filled, like, 'cause it doesn't smell of beef basically if you use beef suet. So so I'd had started with that, but actually over time we just need so much of it. I can't keep getting the premium kind of beef suet. So one day when we'd run out, my husband, who had just the previous day made some amazing ribeyes, and the fat that had rendered out of that, it was like a golden looking, clear, beautiful fat. He just decided he didn't even bother doing any further renders. He just put it into the mixer and mixed it up. And came out with this tallow version that he made that wasn't my multiple rendering version of it. And it didn't smell of anything either. And the kids loved it, and we used it for like 6 months. So they were all like, "Daddy makes better tallow than you." So then it became this like competition in the house. And I've had to lower my standards to kind of keep up with his production. So really now I'm just looking for good quality beef, and I'm not too fussy. If I was making it to produce it, to sell it, I would probably go for the beef suet. But these days, as long as it's a good quality beef to start with, then I'm happy to turn it into beef tallow. We use it as moisturizing cream. I want to start making soap more. So just like Ash, we kind of add a little bit of essential oils, but good quality ones. And it's the best thing. Like I couldn't imagine living without tallow at this point. And all the previous creams that we used to put on our body, like body moisturizers, I used to use the Joe Malone. Do you have that everywhere? It's like a expensive UK London brand. It would be £100 for a tub of Joe Malone moisturizer.
Jesus.
And I
Holy.
have no need for it
Wow.
now, and it's sitting on my daughter's actually taken it and given it to a friend because I don't know what else to do with it. Same for perfumes. Like I don't use any more perfumes anymore, and they're really expensive perfumes, but I just don't want them anywhere near us. Got rid of all our candles for the same reason. So we really have just simplified right down to beef tallow as our main product. And the new thing we're trying to get onto now is sorting out toothpaste, because I have been buying the hydroxyapatite non-nanoparticle toothpaste, but that is really expensive, especially when you've got kids as well and they don't know how to portion it properly. So I'm trying to make my own. I'm just going through a bit of research to figure out how to make our own, bit kind of like Paul Saladino style. Deodorant we use like a natural one, but it's not for men. I'm not convinced. Like they don't feel like it gives them enough, antiperspirant protection. So they're still using the old one, and I want to figure out how we can improve upon a natural deodorant for men. Shampoo, conditioner, I use a natural one, but I want to get better at figuring out one. Either we can make our own, or I've got friends that have just gone away from using any shampoo and conditioner and have just let their hair go through that process. And I have tried it, but I have never been able to deal with the grease. I can't do it right now. So it's maybe at some point I'll get to a no poo state, but not yet. But there's still so many areas to cover. Like makeup I have not touched yet. Menstrual products are a big one that came out in the book. We're doing a book club. Very difficult to find really good versions that are not really expensive. Sunscreen we did do last year, so I made our own out of the tallow, added the zinc oxide, the beeswax, and you can turn it into sunscreen. And that we don't really ever use it in the UK, but we went to Italy last year and it was really, really hot, and so we used that as sunscreen, and we've kept that. I've still got loads of it for when we need it, and it was very good protection for the kids. So they still tanned perfectly, but they didn't burn at all, and it was a really, really hot sun. So I think we're okay on sunscreen, but yeah, there's a few more areas to slowly chip away at and figure out how we get around the shampoo, conditioner, makeup, menstrual products, and still a bit of deodorant for males. So if anyone's got any answers to that, I'd be all ears. But yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment.
Shampoo you can get a dry bar, which is what we sometimes use, from tallow as well. A friend makes it. So that, the soap making. So we sometimes use that, and then for the conditioner we use our 6.0 water, and we don't buy separate conditioners anymore, because that just returns the hair to that. So, and we use the 11.5 water for makeup remover. That's what we when my daughter was dancing, and so she had the competitions, had heavy caked makeup. That really worked well because it's like a degreaser. So it just took everything off, and it was just water. So that's what we tend to use, if you're looking for options on that. But yeah, so with shampoos you can get away. We tend to use that because Tamsin does have she does struggle a bit with the shampoos.
Yeah.
I'd say tallow soaps are just amazing. There's multiple producers in Estonia now. At least we have the options, and I've had that bar of soap for 1.5 months, and it's still 80% there. It's just so effective. I find out regular soaps, they just disintegrate pretty fast, but with tallow it just keeps on going. And I don't have the essential oil version. I just like the natural one. It doesn't smell like it does have a faint smell of, I guess, beef, but it's pleasant. And also cream, I've tried that too. Tallow cream, that's nice. What else? I don't know if people I don't get the need for shampoo or conditioner because I don't like. Other people have questioned if I use some shampoo or conditioner because of how my hair looks. I just use water. Just water, and that's it. Yeah.
Or cut it off.
Yeah. Cut it off. No, I'm going to keep growing it.
The thing is, with teenagers, it's a bit difficult to get away without having the fragrance. So that's why we've had to use the essential oils, because that's one thing my daughter is quite conscious about, is the smell of the beef tallow. So like Olivia, I do use suet. I'm lucky that we do get our own cars processed, so I am able to get hands on suet so that I can get it, that it doesn't smell. at all beefy, because at the minute it smells beefy, she won't touch it. But yeah, so the way that we get around with all the soaps and all the creams and stuff, which she now asks me to make, is by putting essential oils in, because having being the teenager and having friends who've got all these different things, they are conscious of that smell.
I mean, that's.
So am I.
I like that smell. The smell is nice. Plus, animals will love you. Carnivores.
Tell that to a teenager.
Sorry, but I don't want to smell. I don't want to smell a beef. I know some people are not easy. They just take the fat from the steak they've eaten and they rub it on their face. I can't do that.
No.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do that too, but that's weird. You should eat that, or just the story.
Sorry.
I've also got a turmeric and honey soap that's natural that I get as well. So we alternate between the two.
Yeah, I order mine. I found a Canadian company finally. I was ordering from the U.S. and it was costing me like an arm and half a leg. And it was like I was having a hard time walking around paying for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I finally found a company, and I won't do it myself. I just won't. It's just like, nope, it's not going to happen because I will smell like a ribeye. But what people don't realize too, that this is something you can kind of take note of. When you see a deodorant that says non-toxic, usually what's non-toxic about it is they've taken out the aluminum. You still have the parabens, you still have everything else in there. So learning about what is toxic and what isn't, that's an important point. Because I know, like I picked up when I was first buying my deodorant and stuff, it was like, right on. Like I started using men's because I got away from women's because it had so much aluminum in it. And I thought, well, I don't want Alzheimer's because it was a link, apparently. And but all the other junk that was in there, I wasn't even aware. Not even aware. Now I am. So that's something to keep in mind too, is just check the ingredients. That's a pretty good place to start. And Olivia, I think last time when we were talking, and you just put the tallow in your hair and you leave it for like a day or whatever. Because I commented how shiny your hair always looks. And you say, I do nothing, I just put tallow in it, I leave it, then I wash it.
Yeah, so I only use shampoo once a week now. But 2 days before I know I'm going to shampoo it, I'll put tallow in and run it through to the ends. And it actually looks like I've washed it and styled it in a way. Like, I don't know what it is about, but like normally my hair goes pretty frizzy. Right now it's just been washed. But like 2 days ago, it would have been starting to get like it needs a wash, looks like it needs some kind of recovery. And then I just brush it through and I put tallow all the way through from the roots to the ends. And it curls up again and looks like I've just washed it. So I leave that in like that for 2 days or so, and then I wash it. So I'd love to get away without or having a better version of shampoo for when I do wash it. But I haven't found anything. I need to get a better natural shampoo because I don't think I'm using a great one right now. But something needs to degrease it once a week.
Mm-hmm. When I use the tallow to shampoo my hair, I'll finish up with apple cider vinegar just to add, so that if I don't, then my hair just looks. It's kind of shiny now, and it's because I use apple cider. But if I don't, I find it kind of goes dull a little bit on me for some reason. I don't know why, but could be my chemistry in my body. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a few people who use ACV and they really like it, so I need to start using that probably.
It is really good.
I think it adds something to your hair follicles and your scalp when you put ACV in it, or apple cider vinegar. What's it called? It's right in the tip of my tongue and I can't spit it out. It doesn't rehydrate.
I don't know what it's called, but it also does, when you use that, because the hairdressers often recommend it to me, it does help break down any build-up of soaps or shampoos that you are using. Because when you're using shampoos, a lot of people that use shampoos, it keeps layering your hair and it causes a film on your hair. And unless you break that down, that's often what causes it. A lot of people think it's dandruff, but it's actually just a build-up of all the shampoos. So a lot of time, if you use vinegar, it helps break it down. So we often do that as well on the girls' hair. We
Which
used
is
to do
probably
that a
why
lot.
it's so great in laundry, especially as a softener. Yeah. Well, regular
Well,
vinegar,
do
not
you
apple
want that
cider.
in your body?
What's that, vinegar?
Like, do you want that on your body? Like, like the fabric softeners, that's the way they
Hell
work too,
no.
right? It's like a residue or
Yeah.
like a
I
layer
can't remember
between
the
on
last
the
time I.
fibers. Ugh.
It's
Yeah, and
like
it's toxic.
my friend, and she's probably gonna watch this, and I grump to her all the time. She gave me a couple of Under Armour sweatshirts because she was, just gonna get rid of them. I said, nah, I'll take them. I love Under Armour. Holy shit! Let me tell you, to this very day, washing them, I've washed them at least, I bet you 10, 15 times, and I still can't get that fabric softener smell out of them.
Ugh.
Crazy. And she
Yeah.
uses those pebbles, that downy pebbles. Have you guys ever seen that? Well, maybe not. Sydney probably has.
The smell, I totally agree. I've we'll buy secondhand stuff like from different apps or marketplace or whatever, and I had something recently, a sweatshirt actually that I think I've washed it 3 times now. You can still smell it. So then I'll throw a bunch of white vinegar in there next time. Let it soak.
I've tried
It
it.
just dump a bottle.
I do that. I grab it, I got from Costco, big bottle.
My whole closet smells like fabric softener. I'm serious, and I just don't understand that people get so they get accustomed to the smell, they don't even smell it anymore. And I truly believe that because they don't smell it, then they add more because they love that smell. Like, I mean, look at those commercials on Downy. They were like, or Gain Free. That was the other one. Like, and all of a sudden they became
I
a
used to
superhero.
love that. I used to love that Downy smell. I totally forgot about that, Ken.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was good.
It was huge.
So you didn't know?
Huge
So I have a
industry. And
question.
it's like, yeah.
I have a question for all
It's
of
okay.
you.
Yeah.
So now that you have started making changes to what you do you find it difficult then when you do go out into town or wherever you go and people are using all these things, do you suffer a lot from
Yep.
that walking past it? Does it affect you? Does it make you feel funny? Any of those sort
I
of things?
try to
'Cause-
not breathe.
It doesn't affect me. Maybe I'm lucky enough, but
Nose
it
plug.
doesn't
Yeah,
affect me.
I mean,
but
I've done that
smell
when,
it.
when someone's smoking, right? Like,
Yeah. I smoked for 30 years, and I hated the smell every time I lit up.
Wow.
I would shower like 2-3 times a day, easy. I do. It affects me, and I find that we are more sensitive to it as well. Like you'll be sitting there, like I have a good nose anyways, but I would be like, "Can you smell that?" And somebody else would, "No, I can't smell that." I said, "I can smell it. It's like really strong." And somebody beside me, one of my friends would, "No, I can't smell that." Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You can.
I think carnivore heightens the senses too. I taste more, I smell more, I can see better, feel better. It's all the senses are impacted, right?
I feel smarter.
Seems, yeah. So
I don't know
maybe
if I
that's
am
part
or
of
not,
it
but
too.
I feel it.
I think that's part of it, Like in general, it
Well,
seems
it's
like
the brain fog, eh? It's gone.
eliminating the inflammation and all those toxins, it just clears out the noise and everything becomes clearer too. So it does bother me more because I just don't like that smell. It's just, especially perfumes or laundry detergents or fabric softeners that have fragrances added to it. It smells horrible.
Yeah. I find it hard when I go out for a walk and you walk past somebody and they're not even that close to you and you can smell that they've probably had, used about 10 different products throughout their whole routine, right? And it just the waft of it. And I just think, God, that's sitting on their skin. I've got to smell it for 1 second, but how much have they used that I can smell it that easily from so far away? That's crazy to me.
I've had
And
that
some people
experience
only
too.
want to go out when they smell like that. They don't feel ready for the world until you smell like some kind of walking air freshener. It's really weird.
Air
Worst
freshener.
case scenario is
That's a
that
good
I can actually breathe when when I'm around such people. It's just it's asphyxiating.
Yeah. I mean, I was always told, even when before I became carnivore and started changing my products, I was always told that perfume should only be smelled by someone who's really close to you, like literally against your skin. That's when you should smell it. Like, it shouldn't be a radius around you of like scent that everyone gets to, react like Hugo.
Yeah, like skunks, right?
That's funny. I wonder if that like we're really getting lost on everything we want to talk about. However, I will tell you, like, one of the things too, I wonder if covering up our own personal scent of who we are, our essence, is actually interfering with other people. Because I mean, when you see, like, we're not going to go running around sniffing each other's behind like a dog does. However, I mean, I wonder if that creates a little bit of separation as well. And again, it becomes, to me, it's like it's processed. We put on all this perfume, we put on all this other stuff. We're processing ourselves, and we're getting away from the unprocessed of who we actually should be. And if you go back 1,000 years or whatever, I don't know, maybe they did go around smelling each other's armpits and all that kind of stuff. We don't know. We didn't live it.
Actually, you guys are
Go ahead,
laughing.
Cindy.
Seriously, like there is a science behind this. The whole pheromone thing, it's a deal. And there are certain things, and women will have a change in their sensitivity to scent at different times of the cycle. And it really is geared towards attraction, and it's really a thing. So yes, we could really dive deep into this stuff. So I don't think I'll say any more to that. But
Let's
yes,
talk about bees.
that's a thing. And once you become aware of it, it can be very very pleasant or unpleasant, right?
Or unpleasant, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a thing. But I've noticed this. So years ago, I used to use this product. I loved it for many, many years, and then it was actually when I was pregnant, I noticed the ingredient list, and I paid attention. Like, ooh, maybe I don't want to put all of it. So I switched to just some natural coconut butter, actually. But I was doing it. I thought, I wonder if that stuff is still around. I pulled it up, and sure enough. So here's the interesting thing. Get this. They're getting, smart to the idea that people are looking at ingredients. So when you look at the ingredients, there are two sections of ingredients. It says skin loving ingredients, and then there's the ingredient list. Okay, so it's like, okay, skin loving ingredients. Well, guess what? This has got, shea butter and aloe and camellia oil and all this other, nice stuff for your skin, which makes people think, oh, that's all that's in there. But that's not all that's in there. There's a tiny little bit of this maybe essential oil or whatever. And the list is this long on a phone screen with font super tiny, I mean, it's amazing how this stuff is kind of hidden. And I don't really understand why they have to put all that stuff in there. But, when you're taking a deep dive looking at your products, you got to really, sometimes you have to take a picture of it and increase the size, zoom in so you can even read it, I just wanted to share that.
And that's, we could probably do a whole episode on just understanding ingredients. My goodness. Like, the way I started was, if you can't pronounce it and don't know what it is, don't eat it or don't use it. And that was
sometimes they're using the scientific name of an essential oil or something. So there is that. I mean, I used to use that too until I realized, oh, well, that's the same thing as lavender oil, like real lavender oil, for example.
But it's usually Latin. Like,
Yes,
if it's a species
exactly.
name, yeah.
Using Latin.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't spur alarm bells in my head, so necessarily. But yeah, it's like I think most people should recognize Latin. That's a good thing to actually know because not all products are that you can pronounce are bad. But yeah, you can use AI to help with that too. There's apps. Just go through the ingredients list if it's confusing to you. Like if it does have over 4 to 5 ingredients, then maybe it's worth a checkup. Just checking what you're putting on your skin and all that, or just ingesting. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We again, just like the first episode, we could go forever on this topic, and we may even include like part 3, part 4. But for sake of respecting each of us for our time and what we're giving on a Saturday morning, evening, and afternoon, let's jump to which I feel is probably pretty important too, that people may have lots of questions about, would be children and toxic load. So can I turn that over to you, Ash?
Yeah, probably Livia can also help with that one because she's also got kids too. So I think we both are quite conscious on this. We've started, especially with going to school. Obviously, I have been switching from all the plastic stuff that we've got in our house over to glass, but obviously they can't take glass to school. So we do have good stainless steel lunch boxes and things that we are doing, and we're getting. So those are just sort of things, just changing, as well as water bottles. We try to stay away from all the plastic ones. Very conscious of microplastics and all that as well. But it is difficult with school environments because they can't take glass. There's so many things that they can't take. Some of them are still using microwaves and things like that too. But we just sort of do lunches and things that they don't that they can take that are already warmed up in the stainless steel things, or they're taking things in their lunch boxes that are easier. With our fruit and vegetables, we just make sure that we clean it. We get all pesticides off. A lot of pesticides are oil-based. I know Hugh was going to talk a bit about that, but a lot of them are oil-based and they stick there to stop the insects from eating it. So if you're not getting that oil-based, breaking that barrier, you're ingesting those as well. So again, I used to use bicarb and vinegar to soak those in, but I'm lucky now, like I said, with my machine, I've just soaked it in the 11.5 water and it emulsifies, so it takes all that off. And then, it's just obviously just being very conscious with the girls in the products that they're using to go to school, because like all their friends are into all the latest perfumes and things. So it is hard. It's not easy having teenage girls who are into all these things. But yeah, we do make our own hand sanitizers that they take to school as well, because I refuse to let them use the ones that are provided by the schools. Suntan lotions as well, because of the sun in Australia. They do use one, but it's a natural one as well that we've found that's got essential oils and things as well. So they take their own suntan lotions to school, and then they wear hats. So it's just sort of things like that we've done. I don't know what Olivia's done with her kids, with schools.
Yeah, a bit very similar to you, Ash. Stainless steel bottles, and obviously the main thing is diet, and that's something that they both pretty much generally stick to. But my son does have quite a bit of fruit, so when we have fruit, we make sure it's organic, and it's actually, we always get frozen now. We've changed from any fresh fruit to frozen fruit, especially because we're only eating berries, and berries are better to have frozen because they're picked at the right time. And that's actually cheaper as well. So if anyone is having berries on a keto diet, I would really recommend going for frozen and organic. If we were for any reason to get non-frozen or non-organic, I would always soak them in soda bicarb for a little while before eating them, to try and get any pesticides off. So generally on food, we're pretty good because we don't really have many other aspects of the diet that are toxic in any way. The main rabbit hole I've been down recently has been the Wi-Fi. I know we talked about it on the last episode, but when it comes to kids, it's very, very difficult to keep them away from EMFs. I've been discovering, and also both my kids at the moment have an Alexa in their bedroom. And I don't know what we were thinking doing that, but they're now so used to that being their music and being their alarm clock and being everything to them, that I'm trying to figure out how we get those things, because that is constantly emitting both Bluetooth and picking up the Wi-Fi and in contact with the router. So, and it's on while they're asleep as well. So now I'm going into their bedroom and unplugging it every night. But we need a better solution for that. And there's no kind of equivalent to an Alexa, which they're so used to using, that you can actually plug into an Ethernet either. They all operate on Wi-Fi. So it's a real pain to try and figure out how to not affect what their lifestyle is whilst also getting rid of these harmful EMFs as well. So that's a big one, because they're all on their phone all the time as well. There's various different things that you can do, different shields, and phone cases, that kind of thing. So I'm looking into all of that so that their phone isn't constantly giving them EMFs as well as the Alexa in their room. But yeah, it's tricky with kids because I would be quite happy to go wired and turn off the Wi-Fi completely in our house, but they would literally, their lives would collapse at the same time, which is not good that we're in this position. So and laying Ethernet cables all around the house, even if you were to do it, it's a pain, and then they'd have to plug their phone into it. So yeah, it's just about getting the balance right. I think we're going to be turning off the Wi-Fi at night, trying to get rid of turn off the Alexas at night, and try to get some protectors on their phones for now. So that's what I've been trying to, because I think probably one of the biggest toxic loads after you've sorted out diet is going to be EMFs. Diet and water is going to be EMFs, and how much kids are just literally living alongside a phone in their face, a phone around them, and some other electronic, iPad, laptop, whatever it might be around them. So that's a big one we're focusing on right now, but it's very tricky to navigate through and get it right.
We've gone back to wired headphones, these. So they only use their AirPods when they're at home, when we covered with the M Guard. We use that, and then they don't have electronics. They're not allowed electronics in bedrooms. But yeah, they've gone back to these. But you also get ones which we had a while back, which they broke, which I need to get again. There are air tubes, so the actual Wi-Fi stops over here, and then it's just a tube which emits a sound between the things. We used to have those, so I was going to invest in those again. But yeah, they even prefer actually using going back to the wired now versus the AirPods. But yeah, like I just said, we've got our M Guard that protects us from the electronical stuff. But yeah, so that's what we do from the EMFs.
Yeah. And when it comes to earbuds and stuff, we're talking about RF, are we not? Not EMF, RF?
Yeah. Noise radiation,
Yeah. And I'll interject here too is pets as well, Like one thing that I was doing this a long time ago when I was feeding my dogs. I don't have cats, so I'm not going to speak on cats. I'll speak on dogs. And what I learned was the first thing I'd do is I'd bring home that bag of dog food, kibble, and I'd put it in a plastic container. And the leaching is unbelievable. And that's one thing. There's two things that a lot of people in this industry that are talking about or talking out about you can do for your dog is, number one, if you're going to feed kibble, leave it in the damn bag, because the bag is better than putting it in a plastic container, especially if it's not PBA free and all this the other stuff is in plastic. And number two is give your dog filtered water, because the dog is very small, just like our children, and if you're giving them water that has fluoride and chlorine and everything else in, their body's not combating it as well as ours are, or a bigger species or whatever. So, I mean, this goes for our pets as well. Be mindful or aware that, and you talk about those incense that are in the house and stuff that people plug all over the houses and stuff like that. There's dogs that die every year because of that. People don't realize that, but they're being poisoned. They're being, and just think if that's doing it to your dog or your cat, what's it doing to your children or you? And that's important too. So number one, I'd say get rid of that stuff. I would be for sure get rid of it and start there. But always just awareness. That's what it's all about, is just awareness.
Yeah.
And I think if I had kids, holy moly, I'd be flat broke every single day because I'd be out there and I'd be buying this and I'd be buying that and I'd have EMF blockers and I'd have all the. I mean, I do it for my dogs, for gosh sakes. You know, like my dogs, I swear I'm over $1,000 plus just on their health alone a month. You know,
Wow.
so yeah, that's important too. Is don't forget your pets is what I put in there. Cindy, I know you have an appointment. You're gonna have to go. Is there anything that you want to add here if you're gonna leave us early? Do you have any input?
Well, something that was not on our list that we often don't think about is the toxins that we can create inside our own body. And yeah, I'm primarily thinking of, this goes back to the whole stress talk, right? And our thoughts. Like we can have very toxic thoughts, and that's something that goes really under the radar. And it starts with our being worried about all of this stuff. And like you said at the beginning, we're not fear mongering in any way, just creating awareness. But, I, a lot of these things, I know I'm not going to change, right? I am at a point in my life, I cannot deal with this whole Wi-Fi thing and turning it off at night or whatever right now. Like, I can't do that right now. I'm aware of it, but you know what? If I could go into this whole mode of freaking out in my mind and create stress biochemically in my body, which is creating toxins in my body, but I don't. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to send love to it and just kind of move on. But yeah, our thoughts can be very toxic. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why it's just, I don't think, oh, sorry. I was going to say, I don't think it's advisable to go out and change everything, because that would be way too overwhelming. It might just be you change one thing and start there, and then slowly you build onto it, because that's, I think, what we've all done. We've all started at one place, and so that's why we can come and talk about this from a different place, where it's just we've looked into things and once we've got a handle on one thing, we've then gone down a different. Each path is different. The way that I've come to this space is probably different to the way that Kim's come to the space. It's different to the way Olivia's come to the space, where we've just done, all of us, I think, have just done one thing, and then that one thing has led to something else. It's just, we're just finding all of our puzzle pieces that match up, and something that might resonate with me, that is important to me, like EMFs and toxic living with the teenagers and things, might not be as important to the next person. But something else might be just as important to them. So it is just picking your poison, almost, if you want to say, picking that thing that you're going to fix, and then then being, like you said, Cindy, and then being okay with everything else, And then as we learn and grow, you change things, and that's, I just believe, knowledge. The truth cannot be told; it has to be learned, and that's something, a saying that I apply to everything. We have to learn things as we go along, and some things will stick, some things will work, and other things we just let go and be kind to ourselves.
Yeah, you can bring the camel to water, but you can make it drink it, right? So it's like
the more worried we get about stuff, the worse it makes it, Like, truly, we all have known people who've had horrible diets, don't exercise, maybe even smoke, and they've lived a very long life, but they have an incredible attitude, right? They're always happy. It's just different. I think there's so much we don't fully understand in that realm, but know about it, do what we can, and then be happy anyhow.
100%. 100%.
And that's one of the biggest drivers of our podcast is exactly that. Like one is awareness. Number two is trying, working at putting our health back in our own hands. And what's the best way to do it? It's like anything, just take one step forward. It's like one step at a time. And it's like Maria Kondo, she's huge. When she comes into your house and she shows you how to organize different things or whatever. I mean, she doesn't overwhelm anyone. She starts at one place and stays there, and that's it. And then moves on to the next when you're ready. And I mean, personally, if you're walking around your house and all you're smelling is the fragrance from the plugins in your house, that's a good place to start. Because now you're aware, you're going to be able to smell and go, oh, look, like just whatever it is, it's like one step at a time. Just don't be overwhelmed, and don't take it as, oh my gosh, my, henny penny, the sky's falling, because it's not. It's not falling. You'll be just fine. Just moving forward and taking one thing and working. Whatever is the most important at that particular time in your life, because we change every day. There's always something new every day. Yeah. So I think
that's a healthy mindset.
Yeah, and Hugo, that's exactly what it is, just mindset. And having mindset is being aware of whatever it is. I mean, oh my gosh, we're learning all the time, aren't we? Like, we are far from experts. We are not experts at all. What we are is people that have these experiences, that have gone through specific things that we're passionate about, and we just want to talk about. And we want to talk about it amongst ourselves, and we want to share it all with you. So hopefully you take something away from it, because I will never claim to be an expert on anything. It's just what I've read, what I learned, and what I researched myself in some of the courses I've done. And I'm sure it's the same with all of us.
Yeah, it's always changing.
Always. Like, remember when I don't know, I'm a firm believer in carnivore. I eat carnivore, and the majority of my diet is carnivore. And the reason why is because, like we claim, is the N equals 1. I feel my best. I've healed so many things in my body because of it, that, it's become my thing. Just like all of us. Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So on that, I think what we'll do is we'll end it here. We've gone over an hour now, and again, being respectful of everyone. So, there's some great books out there. We'll put the resources in the show notes for you that you can access. And plus, there's a few things that, like yucca. Can you explain yucca quickly there, Olivia? Is it like what's in our food? Yeah, please.
Yeah, I haven't used it, but my understanding of the Yucca app is it tells you how bad, how processed like certain products or foods are. It gives it a kind of a rating. But I've never used it, and I've heard that it's not ideal for some reason. So I don't want to vouch for it or anything, but that's what it does.
You can use AI for that to just make a picture of the ingredients list, and you can.
And then it can tell you. There you go.
Yeah, I've used it just to when there's a ton of ingredients.
We use it every day 100 times, Hugo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So we'll have links in the show notes. So before we wrap up, just one last thought. If you were to start all over and right from the beginning where you were, what would one step you'd take in that direction of becoming toxic-free living? I'll start with you, Hugo.
Well, diet. Immediately.
Diet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Plastic containers. Storing food in plastic containers instead, doing it in glass.
Olivia?
Use tallow. Make tallow. Use tallow. Buy it, but just use it.
Tallow, use it. What about you, Ash?
Drinking clean water, filtered ionized water, out of stainless steel bottles, and not out of plastic. I wouldn't be buying any of the plastic water from the shops, because we used to buy dozens of it, and the amount of microplastics we've probably ingested over the years. So yeah, probably the microplastics is big for me at the moment.
Of course. And we'll have a link in the show notes too of the water that Ashley uses and actually sells as well. And I'm just going right back to the very beginning of when I started this process, which was probably, I'd say, 2004, 2005, when I really started digging into it. I looked at my own personal habits, and I said, well, what can I do as an initial step for my health? And the first thing I did was I quit smoking. So that's all I did was I took what was in my habits, the way I was living, and that's where I started. And it was the hardest thing, one of the hardest things. Actually, I shouldn't say it's probably the second hardest thing I've ever done in my life. The first hardest thing is giving up sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, that's where a lot of us are now. So, yeah, that's my input from there. That was great. Great episode. I guess we're going to have a part 3 to carry on. So,
Talking about
There's
thanks,
more
everyone.
to dive into, yeah.
I'm so happy to
Great.
see
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Have a great sleep, afternoon, day.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.